Bauxite is a sedimentary rock with relatively high aluminum content. It is the world's main source of aluminium and gallium. Bauxite appears dull in luster and is reddish-brown, white, or tan in color. Corundum is an aluminum oxide that commonly forms hexagonal barrel-shaped prisms that taper at both ends or as thin tabular hexagonal plates. Because of corundum's hardness, it can scratch almost all other minerals. Cryolite is an uncommon mineral identified with the once large deposit at Ivittuut on the west coast of Greenland. Depleted by 1987, hematite is a common iron oxide compound and is widely found in rocks and soils. Hematite naturally occurs in black to steel or silver gray, brown to reddish-brown, or red colors. It is mined as an important ore of iron. It is electrically conductive. Hematite is not only harder than pure iron, but also much more brittle. Magnetite is a mineral and one of the main iron ores. It is the most magnetic of all the naturally occurring minerals on Earth. Naturally magnetized pieces of magnetite, called lodestone, will attract small pieces of iron, which is how ancient peoples first discovered the property of magnetism. The mineral pyrite or iron pyrite, also known as fool's gold, is iron disulfide. Pyrite is the most abundant sulfide mineral. It was used as source of ignition in early rifles. Siderite is a mineral composed of iron carbonate. It is a valuable iron mineral, since it is 48% iron and contains no sulfur or phosphorus. Although spathic, carbonate, iron ores, such as siderite, have been economically important for steel production. Chalcopyrite is often confused with pyrite and gold since all three of these minerals have a yellowish color and a metallic luster. But they differ in hardness and streak. Chalcopyrite is harder than gold but much softer than pyrite and can be scratched with a knife. Chalcopyrite has a distinctive black streak with green flecks in it. Pyrite has a black streak and gold has a yellow streak. Chalcocite or copper sulfide is an important copper ore mineral. It is opaque and dark gray to black, with a metallic luster. Due to the high copper content, 66.7% atomic ratio and nearly 80% by weight, and because of the ease at which copper can be separated from sulfur, it has been mined for centuries and is one of the most profitable copper ores. Malachite was used as a mineral pigment in green paints from antiquity until year 1800. The mineral was given this name due to its resemblance to the leaves of the mallow plant. It has also historically been worn for protection from lightning and contagious diseases and for health, success, and constancy in the affections. Sphalerite exists in two main crystalline forms, and this dualism is often a salient example of polymorphism. Polymorphism describes the existence of a solid material in more than one form or crystal structure. The more stable cubic form is known also as zinc blende or sphalerite, which is the most important ore of zinc. Miners refer to sphalerite as zinc blende, blackjack, and ruby blende. Smithsonite, also known as turkey fat or zinc spar, is the mineral form of zinc carbonate. Historically, smithsonite was identified with hemimorphite before it was realized that they were two different minerals. The two minerals are very similar in appearance and the term calamine has been used for both, leading to some confusion. Sodium chloride is commonly known as salt. It is the salt most responsible for the salinity of seawater. Sea salt also contains other chemical salts. In its edible form of table salt, it is commonly used as a condiment and food preservative. Large quantities of sodium chloride are used in many industrial processes, as feedstocks for chemical syntheses. A second major application of sodium chloride is de-icing of roadways in sub-freezing weather. Sodium carbonate, also known as washing soda, soda ash and soda crystals, is an inorganic compound. Historically, it was extracted from the ashes of plants growing in sodium-rich soils. Since these ashes were different from ashes of wood, it was called as soda ash. It is produced in large quantities from sodium chloride and limestone. It is used for washing clothes. It is a component of many dry soap powders. It is used for removing temporary and permanent hardness of water. It is used in the manufacture of glass, soap, paper, and borax. Carnolite minerals are mineral sediments known as evaporites, meaning soluble in water. It is variably colored yellow to white, reddish, and sometimes colorless or blue. Carnolite is mostly used in fertilizers. It is an important source of potash. Potassium nitrate is one of several nitrogen-containing compounds collectively referred to as saltpeter, or saltpeter in North America. Potassium nitrate is moderately soluble in water, but its solubility increases with temperature. Major uses of potassium nitrate are in fertilizers, tree stump removal, rocket propellants, and fireworks. It is one of the major constituents of gunpowder. Galena, also called lead glance, is the most important ore of lead and an important source of silver. It was used since ancient times, since lead can be smelted from galena in an ordinary wood fire. Galena is one of the most abundant and widely distributed sulfide minerals. It crystallizes in the cubic crystal system, often showing octahedral forms. One of the oldest uses of galena was in the eye cosmetic. This was applied around the eyes as kohl. Anglesite is a lead sulfate mineral, and it occurs as an oxidation product of primary lead sulfide ore, galena. Anglesite is sometimes used as a gemstone. It contains 74% of lead by mass and therefore has a high specific gravity of 6.3. Anglesite's color is white or gray with pale yellow streaks. It may be dark gray if impure. Stannite is used as an ore of tin, consisting of approximately 28% tin, 13% iron, 30% copper, 30% sulfur by mass. It is also known as bell metal ore, as tin is an important constituent of bell metal. Cassiterite is a tin oxide mineral and generally opaque, but it is translucent in thin crystals. Its luster and multiple crystal faces produce a desirable gem. Cassiterite is a tin oxide mineral and generally opaque, but it is translucent in thin crystals. Its luster and multiple crystal faces produce a desirable gem. Cassiterite was the chief tin ore throughout ancient history and remains the most important source of tin today. In mineralogy, argentite is cubic silver sulfide, which can only exist at temperatures above 173 degrees Celsius. When it cools to ordinary temperatures, it turns into its monoclinic, polymorph and acanthite form. The mineral is perfectly sectile, can be cut into thin pieces with a knife, and has a shining streak. Calaverite, or gold telluride, is an uncommon telluride of gold, and is a metallic mineral with approximately 3% of the gold replaced by silver. Calaverite can be dissolved in concentrated sulfuric acid. In hot sulfuric acid, the mineral dissolves, leaving a spongy mass of gold in a red solution of tellurium. Silvanite, or silver-gold telluride, is the most common telluride of gold. The gold-to-silver ratio varies from 3:1 ratio to 1:1 ratio. It is a metallic mineral with a color that ranges from a steely gray to almost white. It is closely related to calaverite, which is more purely gold telluride with 3% silver. Silvanite represents a minor ore of gold and tellurium. Cinnabar is the bright scarlet to brick red form of mercury sulfide. It is the most common source ore for refining elemental mercury, and is the historic source for the brilliant red or scarlet pigment termed vermilion and associated red mercury pigments. Cinnabar has been used for decorative color since antiquity in the Near East, including as a rouge-type cosmetic, in the New World since the Olmec culture, and in China since as early as the Yangshao culture, where it was used in coloring stoneware. Because of its mercury content, cinnabar can be toxic to human beings. Calomel is a mercury chloride mineral. The name derives from Greek kalos, beautiful, and melos, black, because it turns black on reaction with ammonia. This was known to alchemists. It was used in medicine in ancient India and Persia but entered the Western medical literature only in 1608 when Oswald Kroll wrote about it. By the 19th century, calomel was viewed as a miracle drug and was used against almost every disease, including syphilis, bronchitis, cholera, ingrown toenails, teething, gout, tuberculosis, influenza, and cancer. Calomel, without correct ancient knowledge and in high doses, led to mercury poisoning, which had the potential to cause permanent deformities and even death. Dolomite is an anhydrous carbonate mineral composed of calcium-magnesium carbonate. The term is also used for a sedimentary carbonate rock composed mostly of the mineral dolomite. It forms white, tan, gray, or pink crystals. Unless it is in fine powder form, it does not rapidly dissolve or effervesce, fizz, in cold dilute hydrochloric acid as calcite does. Dolomite is used as an ornamental stone, a concrete aggregate, and a source of magnesium oxide. In horticulture, dolomite and dolomitic limestone are added to soils and soilless potting mixes as a pH buffer and as a magnesium source. Carnolite minerals are mineral sediments known as evaporites, meaning soluble in water. It is variably colored yellow to white, reddish, and sometimes colorless or blue. Carnolite is mostly used in fertilizers. It is an important source of potash. It is a hydrated, potassium-magnesium chloride salt. Calcium carbonate is a common substance found in rocks as the minerals calcite and aragonite, most notably as limestone, which is a type of sedimentary rock consisting mainly of calcite, and is the main component of eggshells, gastropod shells, shellfish skeletons and pearls. Calcium carbonate is the active ingredient in agricultural lime. It has medical use as a calcium supplement or as an antacid. But excessive consumption can be hazardous and cause hypercalcemia and digestive issues. Its main use is in the construction industry, either as a building material or limestone aggregate for road building, as an ingredient of cement. Dolomite is an anhydrous carbonate mineral composed of calcium-magnesium carbonate. The term is also used for a sedimentary carbonate rock composed mostly of the mineral dolomite. It forms white, tan, gray, or pink crystals. Unless it is in fine powder form, it does not rapidly dissolve or effervesce, fizz, in cold dilute hydrochloric acid as calcite does. Dolomite is used as an ornamental stone, a concrete aggregate, and a source of magnesium oxide. In horticulture, dolomite and dolomitic limestone are added to soils and soilless potting mixes as a pH buffer and as a magnesium source. Hydroxyapatite, also called hydroxylapatite, is a naturally occurring mineral form of calcium apatite. Pure hydroxyapatite powder is white. Naturally occurring apatites can, however, also have brown, yellow, or green colorations, comparable to the discolorations of dental fluorosis. Up to 50% by volume and 70% by weight of human bone is a modified form of hydroxyapatite, known as bone mineral. Carbonated calcium-deficient hydroxyapatite is the main mineral of which dental enamel and dentin are composed. Fluorapatite as a mineral is the most common phosphate mineral. It is a hard crystalline solid. Although samples can have various color, green, brown, blue, yellow, violet, or colorless, the pure mineral is colorless. Fluorapatite is found in the teeth of sharks and other fishes in varying concentrations. It is also present in human teeth that have been exposed to fluoride ions,